Hello everyone and welcome back to The Amateur Baker and welcome to Baker Day in February, day 21. Today we are going to be making a ginger cake. This is one of my dad's favourite cakes and last year I actually made him 3 in the space of lockdown because I wanted to distract myself, and this recipe actually works really well. It is from All Recipes UK online, but I can't seem to find it again. I will put everything in the description down below. This recipe I find is absolutely foolproof and I love doing it. So let's get started because I'm excited to do this one. First thing that you need to do is preheat the oven to 140. So that is going on in the kitchen. The next step is to warm the butter, treacle, the black treacle and the golden syrup in a saucepan. When that's all combined, you need to take it off the heat for a couple of minutes and then add in the milk, which I have done as well. After you've done that, you need to sieve all of the dry ingredients. So I've got my sieve here, and in this bowl here I have already mixed together the flour and the spices, which is a teaspoon of mixed spice, 4 teaspoons of ground ginger, and then I also put in a teaspoon of cinnamon and a teaspoon of nutmeg as well, just because I like the way that it makes the cake taste. I feel like it brings out the other spices. And there is also 1 teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda in here as well. There is cheese in my sieve. I'll start by sieving that and hope that I don't get it everywhere, as I normally do. You then have to put in the sugar. I always find that, let's choose like the dirtiest bowl. I always find that brown sugar clumps together a lot, so I also put this through the sieve just to try and get the finest grain possible of brown sugar. So this is what I mean. I did that and spilled sugar everywhere. I just press it through. So your bowl will look a bit like this. And then what you need to do is pour in the warm treacle mixture. I've actually had mine sitting for a little bit because you need to let it cool, because we then put the eggs in and you don't want the mixture to be too hot to then start cooking the eggs. Put the eggs in. So then what we're going to do is pour it into our prepared tin. Just going to get a spatula. Spatch. So just going to pour this in and hope for the best. I have definitely not put enough parchment paper in there. That's great, isn't it? So that then goes into the oven for about an hour. No, is it over an hour? An hour and a quarter to an hour and a half. So obviously this is dependent on your oven and how well it cooks things. I'm going to put this in the oven now. I don't have much confidence because I didn't put enough baking paper in the tin, so I think it's going to be a pain in the ass to get out, but we'll deal with that in an hour. So I'm going to go pop this in and then I will come back when it is done and show you the finished product. Hello, I am back. My hair is up because it was annoying me. The cake is out. It is still in the tin. If you have ever wondered why it's important to use correct baking paper and to line a baking tin properly, this will be your result, where it spills over the side, or like this where it's just grown. I'll be honest, this has only ever happened once when I used a different type of recipe, and I definitely didn't put it in a big enough tin, and it was more of an error on my part. Well, I mean, this is an error on my part as well. And it did spill over a bit. This recipe that I use today it's never happened where it has fallen out like this, because I normally have baking sheets going up on the sides so that I have something to pull it out with, and so it doesn't overflow like this. I have a knife. I'm thinking I'm just going to cut the excess off, so where it's on this side, if I just do it like to where the pan sort of like starts to go in, like where the baking paper kind of is, then I might be alright. Just going to cut off scraps. To be honest, I might keep those scraps. I made the cake. He's getting the cake. I'll have the scraps. That does not feel cooked in the middle. Not too bad. Actually, no, I think it is cooked. It's just the baking paper is really oily. Should I leave it in the paper? Will that make life easier? I don't know. I've got really greasy fingers now, which makes me so uncomfortable. It's definitely cooked. I will say that. It's just still a little bit stodgy because it's warm. Regardless of the fact that half of it is actually still stuck on the tin, I'm still happy with how this turned out, because I know that this recipe is foolproof if you do it right. I think, yeah, I'm going to leave it in the baking paper and then I'll wrap it up in foil. I lost a corner. Oh yeah, that's definitely cooked. Look at that. That just springs back. It's taken the form of my hand. Okay, I definitely need to leave this cake to cool a lot more so that it can actually set properly, and clean up the scraps that I've just dropped all over the floor. Tips for this one, I will say, if you make this, use a bigger tin for starters, and make sure that you line it properly. I just put one sheet of baking paper in. Normally I do two that are crossed like, well, it'd be more like that, so that I have sides to pull it out on. So definitely do that. That's a much better idea. I am going to put this on a cooling rack so it can cool properly, and then I will go give it to my dad because I'm not keeping it. That has been day 21. That has been another baker day in February. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please make this cake if you like ginger cake, because it is a really, really good recipe to follow. Like and subscribe so you can see more of the videos, and check out the playlist of everything else that I've done so far, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.